Welcome to another Furry Friends presented by our veterinary. I'm Megan Albers. We're out here at Ozarks Cat and Canine Shelter to meet a adoptable dog today. Let's go inside and see who we have. Here we are with Mary Meow Me Tilly and Bo, who is the definition of a gentle giant.
Exactly.
He is so sweet. I mean, look at him. Tell me about him.
So Bo we have him listed as a Mastiff mix. According to his previous owner, he's about 3 years old.
Okay.
He was initially brought into us as a stray. He was found running around. And when we posted him on Facebook looking for an owner, someone recognized him, put us in contact with the owner, who ultimately decided, I'm going to let you guys keep him and find him a new home because we don't have the time and the space for him and what he needs. He's just a big lover boy. He weighed in at 101 pounds on intake.
Oh man.
So, you know, he's going to need somebody that is going to be able to handle his size.
Yeah.
He is very gentle, and he's actually pretty good on a leash, but he is a little bit of a puller. So, you know, we're going to need somebody who is just going to be able to handle that physical size of him.
Yeah.
We have tried putting him with other dogs, but because of his size, when he gets out here and he gets to playing with other dogs, he can be a little rowdy, a little rambunctious, and he's just a little too much for the other dogs that we currently have, because we don't have anybody anywhere close. Like, I think the biggest dog we've got other than him is around 60 pounds.
Yeah.
So we don't have anybody anywhere close to his size for him to really get out in the yard and romp with. They all get overwhelmed.
Little intimidated. He's large. I get that.
Yeah.
I had a theory when I walked out here that he thought he was a lap dog. And he did just try to sit on my lap. So I was correct.
He's very gentle, very sweet.
He is.
We haven't had him in direct contact with kids yet. We've had some kids that have like petted him through the kennel bars, things like that. We think that he would probably do good with kids, with one exception, and that is he is a big tail wagger.
Yeah.
And that tail just goes 90 miles an hour.
Yep.
And when he first came in and we had him back in quarantine, he ended up with what is known as happy tail.
Oh, yeah.
Which is where the dogs wag their tail and they end up beating the tail on a wall or on a piece of furniture or something until they damage the tip of their tail. So in the kennel, because he is so big, even in our biggest kennel back there, you know, he was wagging his tail and beating it on the wall and did a little damage that has healed up now.
Poor guy.
But
he's just happy.
Brandy and I were discussing it this morning when we were talking about, you know, what we needed to say about him and everything. And, you know, if you had a smaller kid that was kind of about the height of his back,
might get smacked in the head.
Might get whacked in the head with the tail. You know, so maybe not the best fit for little bitty kids, you know, just because of his size.
Understandable.
And not, you know, we don't feel like he would do anything to harm anybody, but you know, just when you got a dog that big, they can be a little overwhelming. They don't know their own size. They don't know their own strength.
He's just super happy, super friendly, has no idea that, you know, he's smacking you around with his tail.
So maybe bigger, you know, maybe a little bit older kids, a little bit bigger kids, he'd probably do great with, you know, somebody that has a lot of energy to keep up with him, but he definitely loves to snuggle. I think he'd be one of those dogs that, like, if you came home at the end of the day and you'd had a hard day, you could just curl up and wrap yourself around him and he'd make you feel a lot better.
Yeah, and he's so gentle. He does this thing where if you stop petting him, he kind of grabs your hand with his mouth and is like, "Hey, bring this back here."
I'm not done with you yet.
I mean, I'm covered in drool, but there's no biting.
Right.
He's a super great dog. If you want to meet Bo, you can swing by the shelter. If you would like to adopt Bo, because you know right now you're like, "Yep, that's my dog. I want to take him home." You can apply at ozarkscatandcanine.com. I really hope he gets a home soon. I think he will. He's just so sweet. You just have to have the right amount of space and be able to handle a little bit of pulling on a leash.
And if you have a dog, probably he needs to be with another larger dog.
You know. little bit of meet and greet. I mean, unless you have one of those like bossy Pomeranians, and it might work out. Who knows? So tell me about
we
this.
don't know how he is with cats either.
Okay,
So
yeah,
that might be a question.
Keep that in
you
mind.
know, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about the shirt that you're wearing that originally, I have to add, had no color to it until we came outside.
Okay. So these are available up at the thrift store. We've
Okay.
got several different designs of Ozarks Cat and Canine shirts. This particular one has our logo on the back. These gray shirts with the black design are photoreactive.
Which is crazy.
So if you're indoors and there's no light, no UV light, then it looks like a gray shirt with a black design. But when you walk outside in the sun, and it's a little hazy out here, so we're not getting the full effect, but it pops with all these colors. And it changes colors, and they're really cool.
We promise the shirt looks great.
And then
Bo thinks he's the star of the show right now.
And then we've got some other shirts that are colored background shirts with different designs on them that are for sale up at the thrift store. Our thrift store recently did its seasonal changeover, so all the summer goodies, you got the bathing suits and the tank tops and all the pool toys and all that kind of stuff that comes in. And I noticed the other day there were some bicycles up there.
Oh, nice.
All those summer goodies that we've got in are out and available, and all the winter coats and things are put away now till next year. Our thrift store runs entirely on volunteers, with the exception of the manager and one paid part-time employee.
Yeah.
So they're always looking for volunteers up there, and always looking for donations. Our thrift store funds approximately 60 to 70% of our operating costs down here at the shelter.
Yeah.
So that really helps us. Other shelters, other rescues that don't have a store like that or don't have one that is big as ours, they have to do a lot more, fundraising on a regular basis. We are blessed to have that up here. We get a lot of compliments on the store and what goes in up there and everything. So if you want to help the animals but maybe don't have the time to come spend at the shelter, go through your closets, go through your house, donate those goods up to the thrift store. When they get items in that we can use down at the shelter, then they bring them down to us, and vice versa. If people donate dog or cat items down here that we can't use for the shelter animals, we will take it up to the thrift store to be sold. But like I said, about 60 to 70% of our operating costs comes directly from the store sales up there.
All right.
Those ladies up there are great. They work their butts off.
Yeah. So you can support the shelter by shopping at the store, also donating, also if you want to volunteer. But again, let's get Bo adopted. You can go to ozarkscatandcanine.com, fill out an application. Thanks again, Mary. It's always fun.
Yep.
Yes.
Always a blast.
That is it for another Furry Friends presented by our veterinary.